today's dev session. Let's see what we're at. Well, my pencil's nearly dead, so hopefully we get enough charge out of this. But see how over here we've got very little visibility on this Alt-Shift-F? Well, what we want to do is change that so that we have a much better view on it. And how we're going to do that is we're going to press those three little squares on the bottom corner, and then we're going to go over into the file icon down the bottom left, and then you're going to press Client, Source, and this will be where you find your pages and your components. If you have a look in Pages, the page we're looking for is the home page. And then we can see all of those components, and we know it's the home page because obviously that's where it's just landed on, so we're going to assume, but obviously there's also another way I can show you how to find that. We'll get to that in a moment. But as you can see here, we've got the hero section, features section, tutorials section, code snippet section, tips section, and the newsletter section. They are all individual components that are imported at the top, as you can see where it says import. Each of those are importing those components from the parts of the code file. So you're able to then use those below in the actual build of the page. Now if we go back into our files, client, source again, and if we press components, you'll see all of them there. So it's all over the place that these darker text pieces were. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump back over. Let's pick one very specific part. Let's see what we're working on. Features section. Alright, so here's our features section. Even the title, features. See how that's not visible? Let's work on that. Let's fix that. I'll show you how to fix that, and then you will have a good idea on how to go from there. So if you have a look here, you've got all your different divs which are returning actual built components within that overall page. Well, it's not actually a page, it's a component. So it's a little bit complicated trying to explain this in beginner-friendly terms, but essentially you've got containers inside containers inside containers, and that is how your pages work. But some of those components can be their own file all on their own, or they can be within other parts of pages. So obviously if we're looking at just this div down to this, it's just one item of something, but at the end of the day, if we go all the way back up here and all the way down, so is this. So it's really hard to kind of explain in beginner terms exactly how it all fits together, but think of them all like containers, and you've got to put the right containers around the other containers for them to fit properly and for them to work properly. So what we're looking for right now is the title that said features, and if you have a look here, it says features and it says H2. H2 stands for heading size 2, so the second largest. So as we can see here, we've got text base, text accent, font semi-bold, tracking wide, uppercase. Now, we've got text base here, which is telling me that it's obviously got a preset style for the text, but we can just change that right now just to show you how to adjust it simply. And ta-da! You now know how to change the colors of your text. And just to make sure you really get it down pat, black and white, don't need anything else. They can just be like black or white. But if you want to make it say blue, you add a number between 100 to like 900 for example. And if you want to add transparency, you add a / and how transparent you want it. Remember that when you're setting these colors, you want it to be like, 100, 200, 300, 400, etc. Try and keep it to those lines, and jump back over so you can see. Ta-da! So that's how you can change the colors of anything. Catch us next time.